Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today we're discussing the knee-jerk reaction for Game Week 33, which is just around the corner. Make sure you don't get caught up with the quick deadline on this one. The deadline is Wednesday at around 5 AM AEST. Just convert that to wherever you are. So there's going to be midweek games on. Make sure your teams are sorted for midweek. If you guys are liking the FPL videos, drop a like and subscribe. We are trying to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so please help us reach that goal. And as always, have notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future FPL videos. And with that being said, let's jump into the knee-jerk reaction. So first off, let's have a look at the most transferred in and transferred out players so far coming into Game Week 33. No surprises to see Haaland and Rashford both in here as two of the most popular transfers in for Game Week 33. Obviously, both of these players blanking Game Week 32. A lot of managers look to move them out of the side, especially Marcus Rashford, who had the injury which saw him miss Game Week 31. As his ownership's dropped around 15%. It was sitting over 50%. It's now around 35%, but I'm sure it will increase quite a bit over the coming days and coming game weeks as well. Obviously, Erling Haaland, he's going to be a very popular option. If you don't already have him in the teams, his ownership is already very high amongst the top 1 million managers, sitting at around 75%, and I'm sure this will just get even higher across Game Week 33 and 34, of course, when Man City do double. And I think it is a good decision to get both Haaland and Rashford in early, as their prices will definitely rise. It's obviously going to be a massive influx of FPL managers getting them in, especially for Game Week 34 when they do have their double game week. So by getting them in Game Week 33, it's good to build up team value, especially if you don't get them in, it's going to be a lot harder to afford both Haaland and Rashford, as their prices could rise by 0.2 to 0.3, I reckon, across Game Week 33, just considering how many managers are going to get them in. The fixtures in Game Week 33, they aren't the easiest. Haaland has Arsenal at home, which is probably a decent fixture right now considering Arsenal's poor defensive form. Obviously, coming off conceding 3 against Southampton was very unlike them, and Haaland has been a superb goal scoring touch as well. Marcus Rashford was Spurs away. Once again, not the easiest fixture, but Spurs did just concede 6 to Newcastle, and Rashford has been in good touch this season, so he could also score in that fixture. So I do think they're good moves to get in this week. Diogo Jota as well, definitely an interesting player to talk about. He could be a massive differential forward to look out for the remaining weeks of the season. He's now put up 29 FPL points across his last 2 game weeks, 16 points last week, 13 this week. He could be a really good option, worthwhile considering. Obviously, Erling Haaland's going to be a very popular forward pick. Harry Kane will be as well. Saying that though, he has been heavily transferred out so far this week, being the most transferred out player. But if you are looking to get rid of Kane, maybe Diogo Jota could be a good option if you want to fall with more double game weeks. Diogo Jota obviously still has that 1 double left for Liverpool, plus some pretty decent single game week fixtures around that, and I think he's going to get pretty nailed on minutes for the rest of the season, just given the form he's in. I don't see why you drop him to the bench now after coming off 2 goals in each of his last 2 games. 4 goals and 1 assist, in fact, across the last 2 game weeks for Jota, so I think he could be a really good option. He's coming in at around 8.8 as well, so a little bit more expensive than a couple of those other popular mid-price forwards, whether that's Tony, Jesus, or Watkins as well right now, but I think it could be worth the money, as Liverpool do have the fixtures and Jota does have the form and the chances to be able to continue this good FPL point scoring. Obviously, we saw him be a very good FPL asset last season or a season ago now, where he was very consistent for Liverpool, and hopefully he can recapture some of that form again for the remainder of the year. So yes, I think Jota's a great transfer. He could be a massive differential to have in the rest of the season. Looking at the top transfers out, obviously Harry Kane's here. He's mainly there just because he doesn't have any double game weeks. He still has returned 5 games out of his last 6, so he's very consistent in his FPL point scoring. Personally, I am looking to hold on to Harry Kane. I don't really see why you'd look to get rid of him. Obviously, if you want to go from Kane to Haaland, that could potentially be a good move if there's no other way that you can afford to get Erling Haaland into your team. But I don't really see why you want to drop Kane down to a cheaper forward, or drop him down to a minimum price forward to afford a premium somewhere else. As I still think Kane is a solid premium in his own right, even though he only has single game week fixtures. Not the easiest fixtures for him in the next 2 to 3, but he does have a very good last 4 fixtures of the year in game weeks 35, 36, 37, 38. They all have an FDI rating of just 2. So I still think Kane could be one of the highest scoring players and highest scoring premiums across the rest of the season. Tony Tony as well, he's another popular transfer out. He's a player that we've looked to get out of our team for Erling Haaland. I think Tony probably a more suitable option to go from to get up to Haaland rather than swap Kane for Haaland, as I think Kane still has a really good point scoring potential compared to Tony for the rest of the year. Brentford's fixtures aren't the greatest looking at the rest of the season. Chelsea away coming up as well could be a challenge. Obviously Chelsea's defence has been a bit leaky, but it definitely is a slightly harder fixture than those of Haaland and Kane. So I think he could be a good move out if you're looking to upgrade him to Erling Haaland, and Bukayo Saka as well, just because Arsenal don't have any doubles. I think people are looking to get rid of those Arsenal players. Obviously, Saka's still been in pretty good form, so if you still want to rock with a strong single gaming midfielder, Saka could still be the guy. He still gets very good chances, and I'm sure he still will put up pretty decent FPL points. Just the fixtures for Arsenal aren't the most favourable in the next 3 to 4, so potentially a good move to get him out. Definitely look to target double gaming midfielders instead of Bukayo Saka, as I think among single gaming options, Saka will be one of the highest scoring players for the rest of the year. But I think that is still a good transfer if it's for Rashford or Grealish as well, two solid midfielders with double game weeks coming up that have been in good touch. I think Saka out could be a good move. So with these most popular transfers in mind, let's have a look at our transfer watch list. So here are 8 players on the transfer watch list that we recommend you guys keeping an eye on, or if not, looking to bring them into your sides for the rest of the season because they have good point scoring potential or have been in good form recently. The first one here is Diogo Jota. It's no surprise to see him here coming in at 8.8. I think he could be a really good forward option for the rest of the season. He doesn't have a massive predicted points right now, but I do think he will significantly outscore these predicted points once he continues to get more minutes for Liverpool. I think the only reason his predicted points are so low is just because there's a bit of an uncertainty of how many minutes and how many games he's going to play for the rest of the year. But with the form he's in, I don't see why he doesn't play all of them, to be honest. He's been absolutely superb for Liverpool. He's really just he's excellent at creating chances out of nothing. He makes really good runs, and he does provide for his teammates as well. West Ham away coming up next. A pretty decent fixture. Not the easiest, but not the hardest as well. I think he could be a good option, and it's a good chance to get him in now before his price rises, before Liverpool do have their double game weeks. If not, definitely a good option just to keep an eye on him this week as well. If you don't want to get him in, West Ham away is a good test for Jota. If he can score once more, then I think he's definitely a green light in terms of a good transfer in a 4-game week 34 and onwards. Of course, Mo Salah as well. He's seen quite a dramatic increase in ownership over recent game weeks, but he's been in really good form, coming off 7 points last week against Nottingham Forest. Obviously, West Ham away, another good chance for more FPL points, and he's a player that does have the 3rd highest predicted FPL points out of any player for the rest of the season with 41.3. Only behind Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne, so I think he's going to be a really, really good premium to have in the team. If you can have all of Haaland, Kane, Salah, that would be definitely very ideal, but I think Haaland and Salah will be the 2 best premium assets for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if Salah does outscore De Bruyne as well. Obviously, De Bruyne does have the extra double game week, but I still think it could be worthwhile holding on to Salah, just because De Bruyne can see some rotation in the side, and Salah has been more consistent in FPL point scoring this year. Marcus Rashford, of course, as well. He's a very popular transfer in. His ownership's dropped a bit, but you could look to get him in either game week 33 or 34. Definitely make sure he's in your teams for game week 34, though, assuming that he's all fitting good to play. As double game week 34 is the perfect time to have Marcus Rashford in the team. If you still have a triple captainship, then Rashford could be a good option this week for game week 34 as well. Obviously, Erling Haaland will be a very popular game week 34 triple captain, but Rashford could definitely rival him there. And Rashford also has one of the highest predicted points across the next 6 out of any player on the watch list here with 35.2. Speaking of players with high predicted points, though, Solly March here as well, coming in at just £5.2 million, has the tied 3rd highest predicted points for the rest of the season. 41.3 predicted points is equal with Mo Salah. Brighton obviously have so many double game weeks coming up, so many good single game week fixtures coming up, that I think it's absolutely necessary to have their assets in your team. You need at least a triple up on Brighton. You have to have 3. I don't think 2 is going to be enough. March, Estupiñán, McAllister, Matoma, so many good options. You could go for a goalkeeper pick as well, maybe Dunk as well in defence. I think triple Brighton is going to be absolutely necessary, and Solly March, one of my favourite Brighton assets. I think he can really rival Matoma for points across the rest of the season. He has now outscored Matoma in each of the last 2 game weeks. picking up a couple of assists in Game Week 30 and 31, whereas Matoma did blank in each of those 2 games. So a little bit cheaper than Matoma could really be a good asset. Nottingham Forest away this week's a really good fixture, and the fixtures only get better for Brighton as well, with a couple more double game weeks coming up for them. Solly March could be a really, really good option. Luke Shaw as well, he's going to be a good option. Probably not for Game Week 33, but Game Week 34. Hopefully he's also fit and good to play. He did get a rest in Game Week 31 against Nottingham Forest when a lot of people thought he was going to come back. So hopefully he's all good. He can come back for Game Week 34 for Manchester United. Should be all good there. He's got a very good double game at Game Week 34. Obviously, Man, you have the extra double game week as well after that. And Luke Shaw, probably the best Manchester United defensive asset to own, in my opinion. He's been very good at getting those consistent FPL points returns. So I think Luke Shaw is going to be a very, very good option. Grealish as well, 7.2 mil. He's going to be a nice midfield pick. He's coming off some excellent form. Picked up an assist also in the FA Cup semi-final, so he's continued to produce returns outside of the Premier League as well. At 7.2, could be a big differential midfielder. He's got a great predicted points across the next 6 games with 35.6. Obviously, once again, Arsenal at home, not the most ideal fixture for Game Week 33. But by the time Game Week 34 comes around, Jack Grealish could be a really good mid-price midfielder option. He was really popular for Game Week 31 as well. When Man City had that fixture against Leicester at home, he provided a return in that game, and I'm sure he's going to continue to provide returns for the rest of the year. And then, of course, the 2 defender options, Estupiñán, which I touched on, and Alexander-Arnold as well. He's continued to provide attacking returns. Got himself yet another assist last week for Liverpool. He continues to pick up those assist points. He's getting forward. He's putting really good balls in, and he's sort of had a new role there, playing an inverted fullback role, which seems to have allowed him to get more assists recently. So I think Trent Alexander-Arnold a really good option there, at a little bit more expensive than Estupiñán, but of course Liverpool have the fixtures, they have the double game week. Trent obviously probably has one of the highest attacking potentials out of any defender in FPL, so he's going to be a really good option. And Estupiñán there, of course, at 4.8, a really good Brighton defensive asset. Dunk could also be a good option as well at a similar price. Estupiñán with 34 predicted points and Trent with 32.3. Thanks for watching today's knee-jerk reaction for Game Week 33. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop a like and subscribe. We are trying to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the season, so please try and help us reach that goal. As always, have the notification bells turned on as well, as there's going to be plenty more FPL videos coming your guys' way for the rest of the season. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.